G'day. I thought I'd film another video today, and I was going to talk about live music and more specifically like heavy music because I like to consider myself a bit of a metalhead. So I've got this beautiful shirt as a bit of a throwback because the first ever heavier concert I ever went to was in Japan with this band called My First Story. Sadly, I think they're no longer performing anymore. They released something on Instagram, but it was in pretty complicated Japanese, so I couldn't fully understand it, but I think it was like either indefinite hiatus or no longer performing. But this show changed the game for me. So I remember I was 17 over there in Japan, living in Japan as an exchange student, and I went with a couple of girls from school, and they were in their school uniform, because that's pretty standard, or at least it was back 10 years ago, to just wear your school uniform to stuff. But as soon as we didn't get there very early, we just packed in with everyone and we're right at the back. But as soon as they started, the crowd was just going crazy. So I was just like, I have to get in there. I managed to end up nearly at the barrier because the crowd was just crazy. There's non-stop crowd surfers, mosh going crazy, wall of death. It was all everything you could want in a good mosh pit. And I remember because I'm taller than the average man, especially in Japan, I kind of stood out in the crowd. I think I was the only white person there and one of a handful of women. And I was perfect height for crowd surfers to continue knocking me in the head. And I remember at one point they asked, like, in Japanese, like, where's everyone from? And I was just like, I'm from Australia. And they were just like, whoa, there's an Australian girl in the crowd. That's awesome. Got to high five the guitarist or the bassist, can't remember. But anyway, long story short, it was an amazing night. But it is winter, so I'm going to quickly chuck a hoodie on before I get too locked in. I don't know if the mic's picking up still. Okay, that went better than I expected with everything that's on. So now this is my other cool hoodie. It's reppin' Polyphia. And they also have a special story with me in music because it was the first band I saw with one of my best friends. And she taught me, like, she's my favorite person to go to concerts with because we are both just pit rats and we get in there and go crazy. So that's why I was like, today I'm getting ready to go to see said bestie in Sydney. So we're going to go see the Motionless in White concert. And I'm very, very excited. She's the one that actually showed Motionless to me. So I've been listening to My First Story, but I think I'm going to go to Polyphia now because not having words is actually a bit better for the concentration. And yeah, now I'm going to, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I'm going to paint my nails now. As is tradition for me going to a concert, I like to have painted nails. But anyway, yeah, I've been in a bit of a rut since I last made a video where I was talking about Filthy Frank and Joji and Sleep Token. So for the past couple of years, I'd been in a bit of a rut with music where I literally only could listen to Sleep Token. And for the past, so it was about 2 years I was in that rut, and the past about almost a year now, I still listen to them, but I've been able to branch out and actually find a lot more new music, and that's been really, really nice. I've managed to bring some other friends to concert because sadly my concert bestie lives in another state, so it makes it a bit hard to go to shows together. But it also makes it extra special when we do get to go because we both put the effort in. So we're both traveling to Sydney tomorrow for the concert tomorrow night, so it's going to be a big day. But yeah, as I've been enjoying new music, I found myself in a bit of a joji right now. So I was like, okay, time to crawl back out, time to feel a bit better. I'd been feeling a little bit self-conscious of the video I made as well, but I'm just like, you know, the 3 friends that I knew would enjoy it, enjoyed it, plus some extras. And honestly, that's a win. Anyway, why do I like the mosh pit? To me, it just seems like an obvious, like, why wouldn't you? But I do actually have some people that come up and don't come up and ask it, but like when I tell them that I'm a fan, they're like, how is that fun? And I'm like, what do you mean you don't love consensually play fighting a bunch of sweaty men? To me, it's basically the same kind of appeal as contact sport and going to the gym. It's like almost like a bit of a socially acceptable like way of hurting yourself in a safe-ish controlled way. But yeah, music and live music in general is just always going to be special. I definitely prefer listening to bands play rather than just like a singer up there dancing. Like clearly that's got its appeal. Usually not really for me. That being said though, the first ever concert I ever went to was actually a K-pop one. I was a very big K-pop fan in high school. I'm always ahead of the trends because like I liked Japan before it was cool. I listened to K-pop before it was cool, before Gangnam Style. So it's like I could very much be a weird gatekeeper if I wanted to, but I'm just like, I just like to think I'm ahead of the times and it's cool that everyone's catching up. I don't know how I feel about the red now. I thought it was a bit darker, but that's what we're going with for now. I was going to do black, but I've got so many different colours of nail polish. I've just started telling myself I have to use them because I bought them. So do I always just want to wear black? Yeah. Do I have every other colour under the sun? Basically. So time to just start branching out. Red's kind of punk. But anyway, yeah, I think live music, no matter the genre, is always going to be a good time unless it's like really something you don't like. But there's just something special about like being in the crowd, all there for the same purpose, especially if it's like, I feel like the more like niche, the more fun. So my partner's really into like, I don't know, I think it's like melodic death metal, which is cool. Not really what I'd put on a playlist all the time, but I can appreciate. And like I said, if it's live, it's cool. So I've been to a few shows now where it's just like a bunch of old dudes just like, yeah, man, yeah, shredding. Froth and Fury was probably the best festival I've ever been to. Went to that with my bestie and her bestie and my other bestie. So that was a cute day. And honestly, like, as scary as people think mosh pits are, I can't help but think it's adorable because it's just like, it's basically just a bunch of boys that probably used to be the class clown in the class and like wrestling each other for attention. It's just, to me, it's just like angry dancing play fighting. And normally like, I haven't really had any bad experiences. I've got, my wardrobe is currently overflowing with how many band shirts I have now because I have a bit of a obsession with buying band shirts now, because it's just like, once I go to a concert, if they did a good job, I'm like, I have to get the shirt. So I've had to start, like, if I could only buy like one per band now because I'm just getting too many shirts. But it's like, ooh, you've entertained me, little jesters. I will buy your shirt as thanks. That's kind of what I have in my head when I justify buying my like 300th shirt. Okay, maybe not that many, but still. There's just something kind of like, I don't know, primal about like letting out the anger and the sad with a bunch of random strangers and just like getting a bit physical. But the thing is, it's normally like there's a lot of unwritten rules that you kind of just have to vibe when you're in a concert crowd, because there's normally at least one or two real big dudes in there, and they normally act a bit like the pit bouncer. It's not just on the big dudes, but if someone's like going a bit too crazy, unless it's like a full-on hardcore show, I haven't really been to any that extreme where it's like people actually trying to hurt each other. I'm not really about that. That being said, I nearly fucking died in the Lorna Shore pit because this big dude decided to try and crowd surf right at the last minute, and all of a sudden it's just me holding the weight of this grown-ass man. The song had ended and I'm just like, fuck, help. And so he falls, I go chin to chest on the ground, crushed. I don't actually know how I didn't break my neck, like genuinely. My friend, who I feel like thinking, I don't know about like spreading people's names and stuff in these videos because it's just like me yapping into the ether. But here we go. This is the drawing I did the other day to try and make a screen print for me and my friend and her band, because we are a couple of little pit rats. So to get the image, my friend comes up to about here on me. So I'm normally I don't really get to her in the mosh pit, but I'm like, I worry for her because that's elbow and height. But once girls get in the pit, the boys do have to like play nicer, I feel, which is, I don't know, maybe not what they want sometimes, but I just don't care. I'm like, I can take a hit. I can fall. I've fallen my ass at least once a show. Nearly broke my fucking neck. The one time I came home with like the beginnings of a black eye. I shouldn't laugh, and it's not funny, but one time I went to work and I had like bruises all over my arms, and the beginnings of a black eye, and this guy at work felt the need to do a bit of a welfare check to see if I was okay at home. So that was a bit of a sign to me that I needed to calm down a little bit sometimes in the crowd. So I have been to a few shows where I didn't go in the pit, but the whole time I'm just staring and longing for it. So I'm kind of like letting myself rest a bit today, so I have the energy to fight for my life for fun. So I feel like when I tell people that like we have a bit of a chat about music, I kind of forget that like the average person really actually doesn't like heavy music, especially if there's any screaming. So I often find myself in this bit of the awkward middle. It's just like, I feel like some people would say I'm not hardcore enough, or I'm not cool enough to be a proper metalhead or whatever the fuck. But like, honestly, in my personal experience, I've never really met people like that in person. It's only like trolls on the internet that think they're cool. So I just like, I don't know, I just like shit because I like it. I don't really give a shit if I'm allowed to like it or if people think I don't genuinely like it. So, okay. It's me listening at home at the end of the day. I don't really do that for other people's approval. But, I really, like, don't have a very good, like, plan of what I'm trying to talk about right now, and I'm just a bit scattered. But anyway, the Polyphia show. So this was the first concert I went to with said friend I was talking about earlier, and she had broken her leg a few months prior and was in a moon boot because her and I do roller derby together, which similar appeal. Like, a lot of people don't understand why you'd be into smacking into people full force while you're on a pair of roller skates, but I'm that kind of crazy. I was a jammer. I do really want to get back into it again, but, like, to be honest, I am a little bit afraid of getting properly hurt because I nearly broke my ankle playing, and my friend genuinely broke her leg, not just her ankle, her leg, playing at a training. So anyway, we weren't really sure if she was going to be able to come, but she ended up coming anyway in the moon boot. She'd been given the clear to be able to go. And when we got to the venue, the bouncers were kind of like, oh, there's a like a disabled seating area if you want to go there, because they clocked her moon boot. And she's just like, oh, cool, thanks. Good to know. But we decided to go, like, more at the front in the middle of the crowd just to see how we'd go. Because Polyphia, if you don't know them, they're like I guess, like, progressive, like, instrumentals, kind of heavier band. I don't really know what genre to call them because they kind of, yeah, they're instrumental anyway. So we figured the crowd's probably not going to go too crazy. So after the openers and, like, a couple of songs into Polyphia actually playing, my mate's just like, I think I'm going to go sit down for a bit and getting a bit sore. And I was like, yeah, cool, no worries. And I swear, literally the song after she left, I don't know if everyone was, like, being considerate because she was the one there with a moon boot or what, but the pit just erupted. And it was just so fun because people are just chanting, like, in time with the guitar because there's no lyrics to sing along with, while, like, running in a circle and pushing each other around. Fun fact, you can see me in the Reverie music video by Polyphia in, like, tiny little my head in the crowd. I can spot it. I don't have a fringe in it though, so it's like literally only I could recognize myself. But it was just such a fun show. And before we went before the gig started, we'd gone to the local bottle-o near the venue. And there was this guy there with, like, pink hair who we managed to acknowledge we were all going to go to the same show. So it was just like, fuck yeah, see you in the pit, bro. And I actually managed to catch this on camera because I was just like, this is crazy. And it's like, as soon as I started filming, this man's legs just appear and, like, open and get carried away because he was crowd surfing above me, and it was the guy from the bottle-o. The pink hair, like, I was just like, oh my God, like, what a way to recognize someone. Yeah, that was a very, very awesome, memorable show. So since then, we've been to Bring Me the Horizon and Sleep Token when they came. We saw Bad Omens and Poppy in Brisbane when they came. Froth and Fury Fest, and now we're going to Motionless in White. I think that's all that we've been to together. Yes, because she's in Canberra, I'm in Adelaide, so it makes it a bit hard to travel to all the shows together. And she's in a band. Like, my friend's just the coolest person ever. I always brag about her. So yeah, the most recent pit I went to was also really fun. It was for Of Mice and Men. And I was actually more interested in the openers, which was Patient 67 and Crystal Lake. So some small band from Perth and not very small, but fairly small for Australia, Crystal Lake. They're from Japan. And I went with a friend, but he was not feeling well and was really fucking sore. And he's been in the pit with me before, but he was just kind of like, I can't today. And I was just like, fair enough. It was really fun though, because I had recognized this other woman who had been, I'd seen her at a few other shows because, yeah, normally I'm one of the only women in the pit. So when I managed to see another one in there, I'm like, ooh, you're like me, friend. So that was cool, having a familiar face. And again, another guy from the local bottle-o, my local bottle-o, about a week previous, I'd gone in a different shirt. I was wearing a head wreck shirt, which were the openers of another gig I'd been to. They're pretty cool, from, I think, like Brisbane or Melbourne. He clocked the shirt and he was just like, oh, were you there when you saw that head wreck? And I was like, yeah. He's just like, I think I saw you in the pit. And I was like, yeah, probably. He's like, I'm pretty sure you elbowed me in the head. And I'm like, oh. This guy was probably about up to here on me. So I'm like, yeah, oops, probably did. Are you going to Of Mice and Men? He's like, hell yeah, see you in the pit, bro. And then I did. I saw him at the show. So I was just like, oh my God, it's the guy from the bottle. Fuck yeah. This poor dude, I feel like he had a few mates that were like egging him on to go crazy. And he told me that he'd had 5 concussions from being in the pit. And I was like, bruh, when are you going to learn? And I was just like, well, I genuinely nearly broke my neck and nearly got a black eye and I didn't fucking learn. So, can't throw stones in this glass house. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. Because at one point, this guy was full, like, I thought he passed out on the floor, but he was just, like, dead on the ground. And I'm just like, bro, you good? And he's just like, yeah. And his friends kept trying to send him for a surf when the crowd was not ready for a crowd surfer. You got to time them right, otherwise people do get dropped and that's a bit bad. But it was just so funny because at one point, I kept checking in, being like, you good? And he's just like, I'm good unless I'm passed out on the floor. And I was like, noted. And then once I realized he genuinely was good, I'm just like, you got to egg the little guy on to go crazy again. It's funny. Oh, and at this show, sometimes when I was in the pit, like by myself, I find it a little bit intimidating to look too many people in the eye, because it's like, then they can clock I'm a woman, and sometimes that can feel a bit unsafe. I don't know. Because I've genuinely probably only like once or twice had someone slightly inappropriately grab me, and because I'm basically there like this the whole time, because I don't want to be like slamming tit. Not that I've got tits much, but like I don't really want to slam them into people because that kind of hurts. So you basically just like push like this, or shoulder. But yeah, this other show I'd been to, someone yanked my arm really hard. Like, unwritten rule that should be written is no grabby handsies. No, because that's how people genuinely get hurt, because I was like, my arm got pulled the opposite direction of my body, and I was like, fuck, who grabbed me? And I want to just say, benefit of the doubt, they probably had never been in the pit before, and it was like, sometimes you do grab if you're falling over, so I'm going to let it slide. Don't know who did it anyway. But another thing, in that same crowd, that was when I took 2 of my mates, and one of them had not been in a proper pit before, and he ended up getting like punched in the kidneys or something and had to leave because he was nearly winded. And then another time I fell over onto someone and then didn't even realize till this big dude, he literally picked me and the other guy, who turned out to be my friend, off the ground like we were 2 cats, just like yoink, plonk back down. Oh, that's always the funnest. But back to that other show with the little dude that I knew about. at one point there were these two big dudes and they made like eye contact and like all of a sudden everyone was like woofing and I was like, because I've been seeing a lot of like incel Nazi racist shit popping up around the internet. I literally saw like a fucking swastika painted on a table not that long ago, so I was just like, is this a dog whistle thing for something bad? So I was confused in the pit, just like, why is everyone barking? And this big dude just like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was basically like, it was a signal for these two big dudes because they wanted to smooch each other. Happy Pride Month from the pit. So they like hugged each other and he said something to the point of was like, he's not a real man till he's been taken by a man or something like that. So I was just like, oh, it was like these two dudes are flirting and like the crowd is cheering it on. Same as there was this other two dudes that were like gay. And I'd just never seen that before and I thought it was so beautiful that there was like that lovely moment of gay love in the pit, because I really don't think that people who'd known anything about metal music, like, it's genuinely one of the most inclusive spaces I think I've been in. Same with roller derby. So yeah, if you can go to a live gig for a heavier band, I would always recommend it because it's a fun time. You don't have to go in the pit. I recommend it, but not if you're like really weak and scared. Probably don't recommend it then. But normally there'll be someone, like people, like if you fall over, people like form a little circle and pick you back up. Like it's pretty chill. Same as if someone's lost a shoe or a phone, everyone will try and help you out. But like, oh, I was going to like dress up and do my little tour of how I dress up for the pit, but I might do that another time because I've already been yapping for a bit. Okay. Oopsie. Didn't spill it, but did get it all over my hands, and I don't have anything to wipe it on. Well, that's great. This is going to be a really good video. I might call it there because I think I need to attend to this, but I don't know how to like turn my camera off now without getting nail polish all over it.